And that's the topic that we're going to talk about today, breaking the glass ceiling and how women are leading the change. I'm not going to spend too much time introducing the topic. We've already understood what the challenges are for women, but when we speak specifically about the glass ceiling, I'd love to hear your personal journeys and how you've addressed the challenges that you faced. So let me just quickly reintroduce our panel. We've got Dr. Nairouz, CEO of Envision Partnership, a certified woman-owned business enterprise. And we have with us Neha Thomas, who's the head of marketing at Creative Zone, and Lubna Naeem, the director of operations at Gargash Hospital. So without further ado, let's just welcome all of them. And my first question will be to each one of you, and you can just take turns to answer that question. When we talk about the glass ceiling and the systemic issues that create such a glass ceiling, it could be the gender pay gap, it could be the lack of access to mentorship. What can companies do and what can individuals do to make a change and address those systemic issues that are causing such a glass ceiling? Dr. Nairouz, we'll start with you.
Hello, good afternoon, everybody. I guess everyone is a bit sleepy after the break and after lunch, so I'm gonna do my branded introduction that I'm known for. So I'm Nairouz, CEO of Envision Partnership. I used to be a drug dealer, now I'm a headhunter. Here you go, thank you. So the drug dealing was pharmacist, and then headhunter, executive search and leadership development. Thank you very much. First of all, I would like to thank the gentlemen in the room. And I always say, I will never ever speak on any diversity matter in any room if the men do not participate. Because it's not us, it's all of us subject. I'm very happy that you're making this effort to raise the bar and raise the awareness, and I hope by the end of today also we're going to make some commitment with some takeaways that each one of us individually and collectively will go back and implement a teeny tiny change that's going to impact the whole change in the big picture. And addressing the glass ceiling, I would love to tell you that after you break the glass ceiling, you get the concrete ceiling, and then after that, different level of ceiling. But however, breaking the glass makes you more resilient and makes your skin a little bit harder, so the muscles gets harder and harder. So what I'm trying to say, there is, as Sheikh Muhammad says, at the race of excellence, there is no end line. So for everything, I mean, as a human being, but also more for women, the more challenges we take upon, the more achievements we get, the more challenges and higher challenges and more complex challenges we're going to get on our table. And that's okay. This is what makes life interesting. Otherwise, it will be very boring if we have a rosy road. So going back to the question, definitely there are so many things. And again, as I said, it's not a one individual or one organization or one society or one government or one policymaker. It's a collective effort. So organizations have and should and are and should do more in terms of taking some policies, initiatives, commitments to ensure that the glass ceiling is getting thinner, because I don't think it's going to vanish. I love to have realistic expectation. And also, I think the very big chunk is on us, female. And when we're coaching female leaders, we always say, don't be passive and wait for miracles to happen. You need to get out there, get out of your comfort zone, go ask for what you think you deserve or what you aspire to have as well. So, if we want to touch on this subject, there are so many things, like you mentioned, the pay gap. And that's also a two-sided coin. So organizations should have the commitment to have equal pay, but also individuals. You should stand up and go and discuss with your superior if you think that you are underpaid. And I'm not asking anyone to do a revolution, I'm asking for an evolution. And if we don't speak up, many of the decision makers, they don't think that there is a problem. So it is upon us to take initiative and try to reach out. And COVID have proven actually that some of the most leadership attributes required to take us past COVID are built-in leadership attributes of female. Call it compassion, resilience, quick decision-making, problem-solving, crisis management. Man, anybody who has kids knows how to manage crisis. So by default, female do have quite a bit in terms of leadership attributes that are required. And I'm not saying that male don't have what we need, but I'm just saying one of my biggest mistakes that I have learned when I started, when I was in my mid-20s, I wanted to look like a man, I wanted to sound like a man, I wanted almost to dress like a man. And I thought if I don't do this, people won't take me seriously. But I have learned the hard way that the more genuine you can be, the more successful you can be. So in our own way, as female, whatever you want to call it, soft-spoken, compassionate, stubborn, which is not stubborn, which means you were, sorry? Ambitious. Exactly. but it's for all the variety of the diversity. And when we talk about the diversity, it's not only gender, it's not only male and female. It's age, it's ethnic, it's beliefs, it's background, it's sectors, it's developed market and developing market. So there is a big variety. And this is what really enrich any kind of conversation or organization. I don't want to talk much. I think I've taken more than the time allocated, so I'll let some serious people maybe answer the question.
Neha, the same question to you. What can people do, what can organizations do to address systemic issues?
Thank you, Huda. Thank you, Dr. Nairouz. That was such a comprehensive, I mean, she covered almost everything that we wanted to say. I mean, I have nothing to add, to be honest. But as she mentioned, just to add on to that, see, it's not just, we don't start at the corporate level, right? The first place that we need to break the ceiling is within ourselves. Because most of us, I come from, one of the South Asian countries. So over there, right from my childhood, see, when I was a very ambitious kid. Yeah, I really wanted to make it to the top. And when I wanted to do my MBA in marketing, the first thing that people came to me and said, oh, no, don't do marketing. Marketing sales is not for women. Let the men do this. I was like, okay, I started doubting myself. I mean, why would somebody say that? So that's a point when you actually kind of doubt yourself. I mean, I was so eager to do marketing, and then I have the society. I don't know why I have to bother about society, but still there's pressure. There's so much pressure out there. And then you start to think twice, thrice, oh, should I actually do marketing? Or, the general trend in India, especially, women go do an, MBA in HR. I mean, that's how it is. So they say, no, you better go do HR, don't do marketing. I was like, okay, no. But then I did my internship. I said, okay, this is not my cup of tea. I don't care what people are going to say. That's when I broke my first ceiling. I don't care what you say, but I need to move forward. I want to follow my passion, what I want to do, because it's ultimately that needs to be happy. You don't have to prove yourself to somebody else. You have to prove yourself to yourself. I mean, you should be happy. If you're not happy, you can't make, the people below you happy, the people above you happy, the people around you happy. So this is something, so the basic thing starts from within. Break that ceiling. Again, as Dr. Nairouz mentioned, you've broke the glass ceiling, now there's a concrete ceiling coming up there. So once you reach the corporate world, again, I'm the head of a department, and it wasn't an easy ride to reach here. So I joined this company as a junior level employee. I had to prove myself twice as hard as my male counterparts, to be honest, to reach this. So there are moments when you have to be assertive, just don't give up. And it's just, okay, you'll have 10 million setbacks, but it's your mission. You should have a very clear vision of where you see yourself in 5 years. I mean, earlier in the days, we used to do these interviews. They used to ask, where do you see yourself in 5 years? This question is quite important, actually, now I realize. Because unless and until you don't have a clear vision, you wouldn't know which path to take. And I mean, it's a corporate world. It's not that easy. I mean, there's so much politics. People want to bring you down. You expect the unexpected. So it's not that it's a very, it's not a road of roses. I mean, you have to learn it the hard way and then move forward. And then comes, the pay gaps, everything. This is something that you need to be assertive, talk to your managers about, and if you have like a good mentorship around you, that would be the most beneficial part, I would say. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Neha. Lubna, the same question to you. Neha has spoken about focusing inwards and actually breaking those barriers that you might have within yourself. But according to you, what can companies do? What can individuals do to address systemic issues?
Firstly, thank you very much to Gulf News and Being She for giving this honor. And doctor, I'm also a drug dealer before. From the pharmacy, same. So I feel breaking the glass ceiling, very interesting topic. Come to Gargash Hospital, you'll see the sky. There's a skylight. So actually, I was just talking to my colleague here, and I was listening to people, and I was saying, we have, mashallah, developed a work culture, an environment, where all what they're speaking about as problems and challenges we don't have. So, Ms. Gada, we need to register somewhere our hospital as a prodigy. So, coming back to the question, so I feel breaking the glass ceiling, it's a continuous process, where it's an effort from women, supporting women, having cooperative men in the organization. At the same time, an organization in itself trying to mentor. Again, I'm going to take example of our hospital. We never ask people how many years of experience you have. You need to give the platform to the younger ones and teach them, be the mentor. We are the leaders, we are sitting here for some reason. We need to create more leaders. And that's how we are going to break the ceiling. So the point is that when the organization gives that work culture, that flexibility, the environment, everything just thrives. And coming back to the challenges, I feel I can take one incident that, people, we always talk about how to be successful. Do your hard work, do this, take these other steps. But we never tell our younger girls that how to deal with the situations which you're going to come during climbing that ladder. For example, I'm an outspoken person, confident person, so I was like, why do girls don't speak when they feel any kind of a harassment? Unless it happened. And I was like, it was a blank. So it's not that, oh, you should have said that. You just come into a blackout where you feel, oh, what did just happen? What did just this person said to me? Of course, I'm going to bounce back and I'm going to show it, but without adding drama to it, because I have to work in that company. I'm going to deal it with a lot of grace. But now that I've dealt with, I need to teach that to my team members as well. Not that it's going to happen in the same organization, but anywhere, personal, professional, we as mentors should understand, or leaders should understand, that we are not in charge of people. We should be taking care of those people, those who are taking those responsibilities up ahead. So I think we need to create more leaders.
That's a great message to kind of conclude this first round of questions with. Dr. Nairouz, my question to you would be, over the years, when was it that you felt like you encountered a glass ceiling? And what did you do about it?
Sorry, can you say that again?
When did you feel like you experienced or you hit a glass ceiling where you felt like you weren't able to grow, or there was some sort of a challenge being posed merely by the fact that you're a woman, that you are facing challenges, and how did you deal with it?
So I heard you correctly. That happens every day, dear. So to tell you one example, I mean, one day I hit my head, the other day my elbow, etc. So I cannot really think of like one specific experience. But of course, throughout our career, there has been so many painful experiences that pushed us to grow. For example, we've been the first executive search firm that set up in the region. We have got so much certifications and awards. Personally, I was lucky enough to get so many awards. And in one occasion, we were pitching for a search for a CEO for a big organization in Saudi. And we were one that were shortlisted, and the second one was one of the big five. So that was by itself a great statement that we were up to par. And then we lost the pitch. And I went back and tried to understand, and then I get my behind-the-scene CIA people to let me know. And then I understood that the board felt insecure to give such an important project for a female-led organization. And of course, that was very bitter. You know, I felt very bad about it. And I thought, you know what, I can go back home and cry, or I can bounce back. And I decided to bounce back, and I didn't take no for an answer. And I said, I would like to come and have another meeting with you. Maybe there's something else I can offer that you might be interested in. Maybe there was a question that we did not answer properly. And I thought of so many, I mean, now you're going to think I'm part of mafia. I'm also known here as the godmother of executive search, so just to add to my interesting resume. So I thought, you know, I have to give them an offer that they cannot resist. I'm not going to leave this meeting without getting this project no matter what. And we gave them an unconditional guarantee. And I said, give us a chance, 1 month. If you're not happy, you don't have to pay a penny. But if you're happy, you're going to pay me 30% extra than what we have proposed in the initial proposal. So by doing that, it was, you know, I tried to exhibit self-advocacy. You know, if there's no one to come and advocate for ourselves, I can come and advocate for me and for my organization. It's my responsibility to do that. Now, I come from the Arabic culture where we are taught, and it's part of our belief system, to be modest, to be humble, not to talk about ourselves. Let your work talk about you. Let others praise you rather than you talk about yourself. And it was a huge learning and getting out of my comfort zone to understand in the business world, it's not that I'm not being, you know, a person who's exhibiting my value system, but it's a pure science, how people would know about who I am if I don't talk to them and let them know who I am. If I don't believe in myself, how on earth anybody's going to believe in me? So, you know, the self-advocacy, in my opinion, is an extremely important point. Building a support network. I always say, have your kitchen cabinet ready. And what I call by that is, you need in your kitchen to have the spices, you need to have, you know, the oil, you need to have the cutlery. And by the same, you know, kind of categorizing it, I always think within my network who I would go for a financial advice, who I would go for strategic advice, who I would go for conflict management advice. And I have this map out. And of course, it changes. As I get to meet new people, I learn more about what they can, you know, what they're expert at, what they can add value to any conversation. So the network within an organization, as well as externally, I believe is extremely important. And again, we as female, we're not as good networker as the old boys club. You know, boys always support each other. We need to learn to do that as well. Seeking feedback. So, you know, in the example I gave you, I did not go back just fighting back. I told them, please let me know what went wrong. Help me understand what was the weakness, what did we miss? And, you know, and I told them, even if we can take this feedback as a paid service, I'm willing to do it. But it's important for us to understand what did we do wrong. So I think seeking feedback is always extremely important, no matter what it is, and of course to take it in a constructive way and take the learning from it, and the continuous education and skill development. I think, especially nowadays with the speed that we're living, I think what I knew 20 years ago is obsolete. Like I have two young ladies. And my youngest is my biggest mentor, who taught me how to parent, because apparently I didn't know before I had her. and literally, I mean, she was at a stage where she was confused about her career. She graduated high school. And I'm thinking, I'm the one who gives career advice to CEOs and board, but really, genuinely, I really don't know what to tell her in terms of what path. If you go through this path, this university, you're going to be a successful person. The whole formula has changed so much nowadays. The dynamics, if you will, the power has shifted in a great way. So the creativity and innovation is much more important than, that old book, so many 100 pages that I studied when I went to university. So flexibility, adaptability, be open-minded, and it's okay to accept that we do mistakes.
Thank you very much, Dr. Nairouz. That was a wonderful, comprehensive answer and really interesting. And Neha, I'll take it from what Dr. Nairouz mentioned about self-advocacy specifically. Mm-hmm. How do you, in your role, like you said, you're in charge of an entire department, how do you advocate for women in the workplace?
Well, see, as you mentioned, self-advocacy, it's very important. If you don't speak for yourself, nobody else is going to do that job for you. So it's very important, especially being in the top management, where I believe in our company there are like 2 women up there. People below you look up to you, in ways that you can't really imagine. So it's quite a stressful position to be in, because you can't let yourself down, because if you're broken, then people are watching you. People see that, okay, if she can't handle that stress, what am I going to do? So it's putting you under a bit of pressure, but again, it's just getting the right sort of help, mentors around you. Just speak to people who have the experience and breaking your problems down. Because every time when I go and talk to my team, I take examples. So this is exactly what you have to do, how you have to do it. So unless you don't have a clear idea in your mind, you wouldn't be able to, give that advice to people seeking your help. And they see yourself, okay, she's doing that. I just want to be like an example. Okay, if she can make it there, so the person below me also has a chance to be there. Because when I started my career, I started as a very junior position, like a PR person. I was doing basic content and PR. So my life, it's been, when I talk about, how my personal life has evolved from, I came here on visit visa, so back in the days, bed space, 1 BHK, 2 BHK. So it just, the life just grew. But, there were certain things. So I looked up to certain people in my career. So I still have a person that I really look up to. She's absolutely fierce, and I really want to be, like her. So I have my own role models that I look up to. So if you want to be that role model, especially when you have kids, I have 2 young, beautiful, daughters. They look up to you, So if you can't be in a situation where you're quite vulnerable. It's okay to be vulnerable again, but it's just that despite being in that situation, how do you bounce back? It's okay to have setbacks. It's okay to fail. It's no big deal. It's just a part of life. It's just that telling them, okay, see the bigger picture. Maybe this. I'm sure you have heard of the, burnt toast, right? There's a reason that this happened. Okay, this deal didn't come to you because of a reason. Maybe something better is waiting for you. So it's just about taking every setback as an opportunity and fight back and coming back even more fierce. And it's just about telling the same thing to your team, to your peers, so that they also get motivated.
Living by example more than anything
Exactly.
else, and creating that image or that kind of a presence that people can actually find comfort in and get inspired. Coming to you, Lubna, when we were having a discussion before the panel, we spoke about how you started off in patient care, where you didn't even have an office. Over the years, you've worked through the ranks, you've reached the top position as a director of operations. Do you see the glass ceiling diminishing to a certain extent? You've given an example of your workplace, other workplaces, women that you interact with. Do you see a change happening?
I think, yes, it's diminishing. Now, as I was discussing with you, did I face challenges? Yes, of course, I also did face challenges. Where am I reached right now is, I think, the best career move I did. And by the way, that amazing lady is my boss there. So I'll tell you how it is. So I started my career as a trainee pharmacist. And I think doctor will understand what a trainee means, and that too in India, where you're in the 600-bedded hospital. You have to do everything. So I sat down on the floors during the night shifts, did my checking of inventory, cleaned the shelves, put the medications and everything. I did all that. I took a break in my career after I got married, came to Dubai. I have two beautiful boys, mashallah, 14 and 11. So that was my conscious decision to take that break. Nobody forced me. I took that 8 and 9 years of break in my career, and people were like, you're talented, you studied pharmacy, why you're wasting your talent. No, I'm investing in my children. I'll bounce back when I have to bounce back. So first challenge came there. So when I went for my first interview, okay, you have a break of 8, 9 years, why should we take you? I said, because I'm not tired of 8, 9 years of working. I have that same spark, the same thing, and let me show you. So that hunger of proving was there. So these assumptions of organizations needs to stop. That you have taken a break means, okay, so have you lost, you've lost in touch with the industry, what are you going to do? I said, give me anything. No, because I've not done an exam of pharmacy here, so I couldn't be in the pharmacy. They said, okay, be the supervisor patient care, which means I'm in the IPD, I'm doing my rounds. Of course, I didn't have the office, I was sitting on the nursing station, but I took it. I think I have learned a lot from that institute, which means what not to do. I have learned what not to do from my previous organizations, which is very important. What to do, people will teach you, and you will also be self-aware about growing with experience and age. But what not to do is something you need to learn always. So from there to here, mashallah, the journey was, yes, I was being identified, I've been recognized with God's grace. I'm in a better organization. I would say, yes, it's diminishing, but we have our important role to make it completely. It won't go away, as the doctor said, but we can try. We can do that. Assumptions, again, you have just, can you travel to Fujairah and Ras Al Khaimah, Lubna? Because you have to take care of the Northern Emirates clinics. I said, yeah, why not? Why did you give it to the other person? No, we thought you have young children, you will not be able to travel. Excuse me? How did you just assume that? That I will not be able to travel? I'm going to travel and I'll learn what Northern Emirates is all about, because it's very different from Dubai. 3 months I did back and forth of Fujairah and Ras Al Khaimah. So now I know Dubai, I know Ras Al Khaimah, I know Fujairah. So this things needs to be looked into, and I'm sure it's diminishing, and it will diminish. Organization like such as ourselves, I would really, really appreciate if anybody of you would like to visit. You will see the culture, you will see happy people, you will see, mashallah, we have 80% of the workforce on the leadership role are women. 67% of total workforce is women. And it's from the age 19-20, they are studying. We give them flexibility of getting their driving license, to study, to grow, to advise, even personal. I always tell to my girls, which are the younger ones, I say, stay focused. Everything, have your fun, but stay focused. And we take care of them. Why I can take care of them? Because I also been taken care of. So I agree with you when you said that there's a pressure, but that's the point. You need to surround yourself with people. When you fall down, they need to come to get up, fix your crown, fix your dress, and move on, darling. That's how you're going to work. So I think, yeah, it's going down.
Thank you very much, Dr. Nairouz, Neha, Lubna. It was a wonderful, candid conversation, and I hope everyone enjoyed it. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you all.